One of the biggest mysteries in One Piece has just been revealed, and the shocking truth is directly connected to Shanks' dark family secret, but also to Zebek, Blackbeard, Garp, Roger, the Celestial Dragons, and the mind-blowing conclusion of the One Piece story. The origins of several mythical Zone Devil Fruits, the truth about Shanks and Roger, and even the secret identity of Luffy's mother could all go back to God Valley. So let's get into it. You guys know how this works. If you enjoy our One Piece content and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like and comment for that YouTube algorithm. And if you want to help us get that mythical zone 2 million subscriber fruit here on YouTube, do me a big favor and subscribe right now. It's completely free and it helps me out a lot. Finally, this video will contain One Piece manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. For years now, we've all been wondering what really happened during the infamous God Valley incident, where the legendary Rocks pirates attacked the Celestial Dragons, and where the hero of the Marines, Monkey D. Garp, had to team up with the future Pirate King Goldie Roger in order to stop Zebek and his overpowered crew. But even before that, we've all been wondering about the secret origins of red-haired Shanks and how he ended up on Roger's crew at such a young age. In the very first chapter of the story, Shanks famously told Luffy that he was too young to become a pirate and that young children don't belong on a pirate ship. And yet, as we later learned, Shanks had been part of Roger's crew since he was only 1 year old. And where did Roger first meet Shanks? He met baby Shanks on God Valley. All the dots finally started to connect with the release of Film Red. A free volume containing interesting information about One Piece was distributed to attendees of Film Red screenings in Japan. And this volume revealed that 38 years ago, Roger found a 1-year-old Shanks inside a treasure chest on God Valley. Up to this point, we knew very little about the God Valley incident, so this was just another fascinating piece of a much larger puzzle. We knew that 44 years ago, Rocks D. Zebek formed an unbelievably stacked crew on the pirate island of Hachinosu. This crew included a young Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, Shiki, Silver Axe, Wang Ji, and Captain John, among others. Now, Rocks wasn't just interested in being a notorious pirate or even the Pirate King. He openly declared war against the world government, and he vowed to become the king of the world. The Rocks pirates waged war against the world government for 6 years, and then 38 years ago, Rocks and his crew attacked a mysterious island called God Valley. According to Sengoku, multiple celestial dragons and their slaves were present on God Valley at the time of the attack. The world government was so determined to rescue these celestial dragons and to defeat the Rocks pirates that they threw everything they had at the pirates, including a powerful marine force led by Vice Admiral Garp. But that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was that the world government actually teamed up with some of their greatest enemies, Goldie Roger and the Roger Pirates, in order to defeat the Rocks pirates together. Apparently, Garp and Roger were the ones who led the battle against Rocks, and according to the information that Sengoku gave us in chapter 957, Roger and Garp won, Rocks was killed, and the Rocks pirates were disbanded. You can imagine just how dangerous Zebek and the Rocks pirates must have been, because even though the world government and Roger absolutely hated each other, they still decided to work together. They must have really believed that if Zebek won, the outcome would have been extremely bad for everyone. This suggests that Zebek came pretty close to winning and to becoming king of the world. Now back to Shanks. He was just a 1-year-old baby at that time, but he was in fact there on God Valley during the incident. In Film Red, the Gorosei state that Shanks is actually a member of the Figarland family. At the time of this reveal, we didn't know too much about this family, but there were some things that we could conclude based on what the Gorosei said. The Figarland family was clearly well known to the Gorosei, and they expressed concern about the fact that Uta is Shanks' adoptive daughter, because being Shanks' daughter also makes her a member of the Figarland family. The fact that the Gorosei themselves know this family and are concerned about Uta being a member of the family implies that the Figarlands are an extremely influential family of celestial dragons. If they weren't, why would people who are as powerful as the Gorosei be concerned about them? This speculation was finally confirmed in chapter 1086 with the introduction of Saint Figarland Garling, a powerful world noble who serves as the supreme commander of the God's Knights, and a man who is known as the champion of God Valley. The God's Knights are an elite group of royal guards who act as a sort of police force in Marijua. They actually rank above the Marines, and unlike the other world government forces, they have the authority to settle disputes between celestial dragons. In fact, their supreme commander, Figarland Garling, has the authority to actually carry out death sentences against his fellow celestial dragons. If you know anything about how sacred the life of a celestial dragon is, and how entire kingdoms could be destroyed just for hurting a single celestial dragon, then you know what a big deal this actually is. So we know that Shanks is a member of one of the most powerful families of celestial dragons. We know that both Shanks and Figarland Garling were on God Valley during the God Valley incident. And we know that for some reason, after Roger helped defeat the Rock's pirates, he found baby Shanks inside a treasure chest and made him a part of his crew. But up to that point, we still didn't know what the God Valley incident actually was. We didn't know why the celestial dragons were there in the first place, and we didn't know how all of this connected to the current storyline. But then, finally, in chapter 1095 of the manga, we got our answers as the truth about the God Valley incident started to be revealed. God Valley was an island in the West Blue, and 38 years ago it became the site of a massive and grotesque tournament organized by the Celestial Dragons. This type of event is organized every 3 years, and it always takes place at a different location. In this particular year, they chose God Valley, an independent kingdom that was not affiliated with the world government. Part of the reason why this kingdom was chosen was the fact that its name was considered blasphemous by the Celestial Dragons. Even though the name God Valley came from the fact that the island had plenty of natural resources, meaning that it was blessed by God, the Celestial Dragons believed themselves to be the true gods of this world. So some small, unaffiliated island referring to itself as God Valley was unacceptable to them. The world government annexed the island and turned it into the site of their traditional human hunt. That's right. Every 3 years, the Celestial Dragons pick an island and hunt its native population for sport. On top of that, they also throw in any problematic slaves that have been giving them trouble, and they hunt the slaves as well. The tournament works on a point system, meaning that a participant will get points based on how many humans they successfully hunt down. And then the participant with the most points will be crowned the champion of God Valley. The winner will also receive extremely rare prizes as their reward, and in the flashback we see at least 6 treasure chests being displayed as prizes that can be won. But we'll talk about the prizes later, because first we need to talk about Saint Figarland Garling. 38 years ago, Figarland Garling was a fairly young man without a beard, and unsurprisingly, back then he looked a lot like Shanks. Garling was one of the competitors at the God Valley tournament, and he was one of the frontrunners. He was a fan favorite among the Celestial Dragons, and it seemed that the female world nobles especially were very interested in him. Even before the tournament started, Garling killed the king of God Valley for expressing his opposition to the tournament. And this act of killing the king before the tournament started actually cost Garling 10,000 points right off the bat. But Garling wasn't upset by this. He said that he needs a handicap in order to make things interesting. Among the troublesome slaves who were to be hunted during the tournament were a young Bartholomew Kuma, a young Emporio Ivankov, and a young girl named Ginny. Ginny's appearance in the flashback was especially interesting because it immediately sparked theories about Ginny's true identity. If she is there on God Valley with future members of the revolutionaries like Ivankov and Kuma, then who would she eventually grow up to be, provided that she actually survived the tournament? Could she be the future mother of Jewelry Bonnie? Or crazier still, could she be the future mother of Monkey D. Luffy? After all, in the very first panel she shows up in, she is smiling broadly while eating a big piece of meat. Those are definitely some serious Luffy vibes. So yeah, in just a few brief panels, so much important information has been finally revealed, and if some of the fan theories are true, we might have just met Luffy's mother after 1095 chapters of wondering who she might be. We now know what the God Valley incident was, and why so many celestial dragons were there in the first place, along with some of their slaves. God Valley was the location of a major world noble tournament where they hunted the local population and some of their slaves for sport. The tournament operated on a point system, the competitor who hunted down the most people was awarded the most points, and the winner was given the title of Champion of God Valley, along with some extremely rare and valuable prizes that were kept inside those 6 treasure chests. Since Saint Figarland Garling has been referred to as the Champion of God Valley in the present time, we can already conclude that he ended up winning the tournament that year. But what we don't know yet is how Zebek and the Rocks Pirates became involved in the God Valley incident, and how Goldie Roger ended up there and fighting on the side of the world government. Since we know that the Rocks Pirates had been active for 6 years prior to the God Valley incident, and since we know that Zebek declared war on the world government and wanted to become the king of the world, we can conclude that he learned about the location of the tournament and he invaded the island while the tournament was taking place, or just as it was ending. His intention might have been to eliminate all those prominent celestial dragons who came to God Valley for the tournament, which would have been a massive blow against his enemy, the world government. He may have also intended to take some of them hostage in order to extract concessions from the world government. Lastly, he might have been after the prizes hidden in those 6 treasure chests. By the way, do those chests remind you of something? They look a lot like some of the Devil Fruit chests that we've seen in the past, like for example the chest that carried the Nika Fruit. What if these 6 chests carried extremely rare and powerful Devil Fruits? And maybe these fruits were meant to be handed out as prizes for the winners of the tournament. After all, we know that Kaido's mythical zone Devil Fruit, the Uo no Mi model Seiryu, had actually been given to him by Big Mom during the God Valley incident. Apparently, Big Mom gave him the Devil Fruit in order to save his life. But it is certainly possible that she had just stolen the Devil Fruit from the Celestial Dragons during that very incident. We know that the Rocks Pirates were all pretty individualistic and that they were all looking out for their own interests. So, if Zebek told them to risk their lives by attacking God Valley just to help him become king of the world, they wouldn't have been too excited about it. But if he told them that if they helped him, they would be rewarded with extremely rare and powerful Devil Fruits, they would have been much more likely to cooperate. So yes, I think that Kaido's Devil Fruit was almost certainly stolen from the Celestial Dragons on God Valley. Big Mom stole it, and then she gave it to Kaido because he was in some kind of life-threatening danger and the fruit was able to save him. But if that's only one of 6 treasure chests, then what about the other 5? Did all of them also contain extremely rare Devil Fruits, like maybe Ivankov's fruit and Kuma's fruit, or did some of them contain other things? I don't think that the Celestial Dragons would be stupid enough to make the Nika Fruit one of the rewards, knowing how dangerous it could be in the wrong hands. But then again, they were so reckless about retrieving it in the past, so who knows? That said, it was many years later that Shanks stole the Nika Fruit from a world government ship, so there's no evidence that the Nika Fruit was actually on God Valley. Well, there is no evidence for now. But okay, so we know that the Celestial Dragons were having a horrible human hunting tournament, and that they were offering valuable prizes, including probably rare mythical zone Devil Fruits. And we know that Zebek and the Rocks Pirates crashed the party at some point. It makes sense for the world government to call in all the reinforcements they had available, including Vice Admiral Garp, but where does Roger come in? Why would Roger care about protecting the world nobles, who are literally hunting other human beings for sport? Even if the Rocks Pirates were pretty bad, it's hard to believe that they could have possibly been worse than the freaking Celestial Dragons. So again, why would Roger risk his own life and his own crew to team up with the world government against the Rocks Pirates? Honestly, the thought of Roger helping those horrible people actually makes me kind of mad, so I really hope Oda will have a good explanation. This part about Roger is the big missing piece of the puzzle, and once that part of the story is revealed, then we will surely learn how Shanks ended up inside a treasure chest and how Roger ended up taking him aboard his ship. If Shanks was a member of a prominent family of celestial dragons, then presumably he would have been treated extremely well by the other world nobles. He would not have been abandoned on purpose like a slave or something, so what happened? Since Garling is still alive, we know that Xebec didn't kill Garling and steal Shanks from him. This brings us to the question, is Garling Shanks' father or just a member of his extended family? And if Garling is his father, then what happened to his mother? Was she perhaps killed by the Rock's pirates, and that's how Shanks ended up inside that treasure chest? Like maybe his mother hid him there from Rocks, and then Roger found him. Now that I think about it, protecting innocent children like Shanks may have been part of the reason why Roger ended up siding with the world government against Xebec. Eliminating the adult celestial dragons who take joy in hunting other humans is one thing, but eliminating literal babies like Shanks is not something that Roger would have been willing to accept. So if that was Xebec's goal, I can see why Roger might get involved. Still, if Shanks is Garling's son, or even if he's a close member of his family, then how has he been able to operate as a Yonko while Garling continues to serve as the supreme commander of the God's Knights? Have they really never confronted each other in all the years since God Valley? And if they have, are we going to get that flashback? Because I would love to see that. We know how strong Shanks is, but is he strong enough to beat the strongest world noble after the Gorosei themselves? The supreme commander of the most elite fighting force that the world government has ever produced? I think Shanks might have some trouble in a one-on-one with Garling, especially if Garling really is his father and there is a messy family drama aspect to the fight. What do you guys think about the God Valley incident now that we know so much more about it? How did Shanks end up in a treasure chest? And why did Roger decide to take him in when members of his family like Garling were clearly still alive? As a matter of fact, why did Roger decide to support the world government in the first place when the world nobles were literally hunting people for sport on the island? What was in the other treasure chests? And who is Ginny? Bonnie's mother? Luffy's mother? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're looking for an epic One Piece video to watch next, check out our video that explains all the awakened devil fruits in One Piece, link on screen and in the pinned comment. If you enjoyed this One Piece video and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like to let me know. And if you want to help us eat that 2 million sub fruit here on YouTube, do me a big favor and subscribe right now.